Movie Holics!
Did you read a review where the critic told you should not or should see a film? But then you found out that without a doubt the film critic must have been ill. It's the attack of the Rotten Tomatoes. It's the attack. Now it's time to fight back against Rotten Tomatoes.
What's up, Movie Holics? Welcome back to another great episode of Attack of the Rotten Tomatoes. I'm Kyler Wilson.
And I'm Monica Kasarik. Today we're going to take a look at a film that we both thought was pretty good.
But was it 90% good like the critics at Rotten Tomatoes would have you think?
Even the audience was right in line with the critics, giving it a 90% user rating.
And that movie is The Edge of Tomorrow. At least that was the name until the DVD release came out.
It is now known as Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Which brings us to our point that this film is not a 90% film. It doesn't even know what it's supposed to be.
So without further ado, let's take a look at what the critics thought that we did not.
From Kyle Anderson, to have a fun summer blockbuster with good characters, good action, and a tight and exciting script these days is almost unheard of. The smart sci-fi action movie is back. Let's hope it happens over and over again. I can't help but notice that you use the word tight when describing the script. Let me ask you something, Kyle. Would you describe a script where an officer that is the public face of the military that gets railroaded into combat and no one even recognizes his face tight? Because we sure as hell wouldn't, and you shouldn't either.
From Richard Lawson. This is the kind of thoughtfully constructed movie that other summertime blockbusters should aspire to be more like. Clever and cool, and never giving you that ho-hum sense that you've seen it all before. Well, Richard, allow me to break this down, please. Living the same day over and over was done in Groundhog Day. The mech suits were done in both Alien and Matrix Revolutions. The monsters look like the Sentinels from the Matrix trilogy. The hive mind Master Bug was done in Starship Troopers. And Tom Cruise running away from things is done in literally every Tom Cruise movie ever. So how exactly is it that you're getting the sense that none of this has been done before?
From Jonathan Hatfull, with a tremendous first half and more brains, heart, and laughs than any of its promotional material indicated, this is smart, witty, thrilling, and above all, fun. I would like to take note that we agree with all the things you mentioned about the first half of this movie. I would also like to take note that the last half of this movie was not.
From Scott Nash. It's a fairly lightweight but high quality summer movie. The kind that you can just sit back and enjoy while you munch your popcorn. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I disregard the notion that a movie should strive to be a popcorn muncher. In fact, to say that this movie is only good enough to munch popcorn on is negative in my book. A movie should try to wow and blow you away every single time, not make you complacent enough to munch on popcorn.
From Alex Donal, it is a near-perfect closed loop of a film. Fun, well-conceived, and never afraid to treat death with both the reverence and contempt that it deserves. Near perfect. Let me bring up again that the person that represents the military in the media continues to go unrecognized by any of the soldiers he represents. Someone that high profile would surely be noticed as not being the front lines man they tried to make him.
Furthermore, Alex, this movie does nothing for the reverence of death. If anything, it craps on that very notion. Somehow, after Tom Cruise's sacrifice at the end of the movie, without any explanation, everything just reverts back to the very beginning of the movie, literally making his sacrifice and everybody else's worthless. That is not treating death with reverence and contempt. What are you talking about?
From Ian McAnally, Edge of Tomorrow is a diverting enough, enjoyable Tom Cruise war movie, but perhaps one that won't linger in the mind too long after the final credits have rolled. We totally agree on all things except for two. First, you gave this a 7 out of 10, which we still think is too high. And secondly, it stopped lingering in our minds as the credits were rolling, not after.
From Kevin Mayer, the smartest blockbuster of this summer season, or perhaps any summer season. Well, in my humble opinion, that's like congratulating an adult at beating a 5-year-old at Scrabble. So it did better than all the other popcorn munchers that summer season. It does not hold up as a great movie.
Here's the deal. Was Tom Cruise good? Sure. Was the concept fun? Yeah. But do we remember anything at all about this movie after it's said and done with? No.
In fact, we had to go back and watch this movie for a third time just to do this episode. That is how forgettable this movie is. There are some good elements in this film, there's no doubt about it, but is it 90%? I think not.
And we aren't completely crazy either. This movie only grossed $100 million, and it cost $178 million to make.
All those things together are going to make us drop this movie down from a 90% all the way to a 65%.
At the end of the day, it's a mostly enjoyable film.
But terribly forgettable.
So what do you all think? Were we unfair in our review of the Rotten Tomatoes reviews? Or did we get it right?
Be sure to let us know in the comment section below, guys, and as always, make sure to hit us up on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and SoundCloud, and roll over to movieholics.net and visit us there, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Stay fresh, Movie Holics.